adult decisions. When you're old enough, you know, when you're 16, you can make the choice to have sex, you can make the choice to smoke. At 18, you can choose to go in a pub and drink. Okay. Prior to that, I believe you shouldn't do that. There's an age limit.
So how does child Thai boxing differ from adult Thai boxing?
Completely and utterly different. 100% different, because A, they're fully protected. Number one, okay,
so
they have body shields.
So tell me what
right,
protection they wear.
Let's start with the thing. First of all, they wear shin pads, which is the part of the kicking with the feet and the shins. Secondly, they will have a body shield on, which is a full body protection protecting all the internal organs. Okay. Thirdly, they will have boxing gloves on which protect the hands and the opponent, so there's padding between themselves and the opponent. Next, they'll have a groin guard on if it's male, obviously, and they'll wear a gum shield. Now, the gum shield is open to controversy because there is no head contact for children. So there is no trauma, there is no punching or striking, kicking or anything to the head until they reach a certain age.
Let me just interrupt you on that point. That's where I want to bring you in, both Donna and Ravi. Is it violent, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, apparently, and I've seen this in the still photographs, accidents do happen. Kids do get struck. I mean, to get struck in the neck is the same as getting struck in the head. The head does get hit accidentally, so if there's any possibility, even remotely, that can happen, they should be wearing protection to start with.
Children climb trees and fall out. Accidents happen.
But you don't have to put them in harm's way. What I'm saying is...
we don't put them children
Jeff,
in
can I just make my point? My point is, I am not against martial arts. I'm not against what you were trying to do. When it changes and when it goes into the ring and kids are competing in front of a paying audience, then you've got a whole different ball game here. What you're doing then is channeling a kid's aggression into overpowering another child, tying that in with self-worth, the anxiety of winning, of trying to please parents, of overcoming any fears they've got, and having to do that on a bell, go in there and do it, and hurt each other to win. That is where it all becomes psychologically damaging, as well as possibly physically damaging, because of the adrenaline.
You've got a 7-year-old who fights.
He's 8 today, actually.
He's 8, exactly. So tell us, I mean, are you recognising some of the things that Donna's saying, that obviously that psychologically he may not be prepared?
Not to hurt his opponent, he goes into the ring to outscore his opponent.
Yeah, but still, you're striking blows to the body and possibly the head and neck.
Well, the striking
is protected on the protection.
Hold on. Yeah, let's talk about it on a minor level.
OK, I mean, it's admirable that these children have protection. Protection like that is very good, but it is not going to 100% prevent injury. OK, you're not going to get direct trauma, for example, to the chest or the abdomen, but you still get transmitted force. Now, even a small child is going to generate a considerable amount of force. At that impact, the force will dissipate, OK? You can still get significant blunt trauma as a result of a blow through that protection. Now, my concern with this from the point of view of a paediatrician, purely from a physical point of view, regardless of personal opinions about whether it's violent or not, is that you are actually putting your children at significant risk, OK? Because it only takes one blow to rupture a spleen, to fracture a rib, to collapse a lung. It only takes one stray kick, and the kicks, as I understand, are legitimately not supposed to go above the neck. Is that correct? It's about 6 centimetres from a child's neck to their head. It only takes one blow to the head, and I understand that it's not mandatory to wear headgear.
Yeah.
It's not, because there's no head contact.
No,
but the head guard is another thing that's quite subjective as well.
But do we not get stray blows in other sports?
Well,
in football?
Football is a non-contact sport.
The aim isn't to strike the opponent, it's accidental, it's a side effect.
I mean, you only have to go on a football pitch on a Saturday or a Sunday where the parents are there with the children at as equally as a young age, having a knockabout or even in a competitive game. Children are playing a non-contact sport, and there are more injuries. Football is the top of the tree. This is just using football. I'm not even using rugby or anything else, which is a contact sport. Jake, are getting more injuries than there has ever been in the history of the 30 years of Thai boxing has been in the UK.
Jake is now 8 today. He's had 36 competitions. Jake has never, ever been injured. And that's down to the organisation, the professionalism of instructors like Sandy, Ronnie Thompson, Darren Phillips, instructors who are well known throughout the profession.
Jeff, how many blows to the head has he had in all those matches?
In them 36 fights, I could count on one hand the blows Jake's received to the head. That were accidental. They weren't full blows to the head. There was glancing blows that had slipped off.
The head.
A glancing blow is all it takes. It only takes. The other issue, obviously, because head trauma isn't major, but it does happen. You admit it does happen. It can only take one blow to cause a significant brain injury, to cause a significant bleed. That's one issue. With repeated head injuries or repeated head trauma, it's not, even if you've got a head guard on, it's going to be the shaking injury.
Let's talk about the issue then of putting your children at risk, because I think this is what shocks a lot of the public who actually see some of the programmes about Thai boxers, particularly when they're children.
Right, can I say
Are they at risk?
Well, this is the thing. There's obviously going to be an age. Certain gyms will say 10, 9, 8, all the way. I've been pressured into bringing it down into a lower age. only because children are achieving at a younger age. People are getting far more intelligent younger, more mature younger, and what's happening is the skill level, and I keep mentioning this, please, it's very important, the skill level of these children is outstanding. This gentleman, okay, his son, started with me at the age of 4.5. He'll tell you what I said to him. I said, he's too young. Please bring him back when he's 5. He brought him at 4.5, we give him a go. He tried, he succeeded. There's always going to be cases where people will do well. There's 50, 60 children in my class, and in every class throughout the whole of the United Kingdom where there's great instructors teaching, and safety is paramount. Children are not forced into competition. Let me stress this, please. Number 2, okay, competition is held at the highest safety level. Number 3, okay, children are used for skill level. Okay, it's not about winning and losing. Out of those 36 contests, there's only 6 where they had a result. 30 of them have been it's been playing. It's a play fight. It's not real.
They're not old enough to make an informed decision on their own. They're going to be
no,
they're not. They're going to be
okay. Can I
be influenced by their parents?
No. Jake can make his own mind up what he wants for breakfast. He can make his own mind up what he wants for his dinner. He can make his own mind up what he wants to watch on the telly. Jake does not go in that ring because I make him get in the ring.
Jeff, let me tell you.
He does not go in. Let me finish. He does not go in the ring because no, it's not about pleasing me. It's not about pleasing me at all.
You used to be a boxer, didn't you?
No, I boxed a little bit in the army.
That's going to be
no. It's not about pleasing me. Well, it's not about pleasing Sandy.
But who took him to his first match? You did.
Yes, I did.
So you exposed him to it. So immediately he made an attachment between going there and you being excited about it.
I took Jake to the gym to train with Sandy. 1, because he was young, he was hyperactive, he had 2 older sisters and didn't have any time for him. 2, it was getting towards winter, it was dark at night, nothing to do, right?
That's fine, but why put him in a cage? Why put him in a cage to compete? Why not just let him enjoy it in the classroom or the ring?
I took Jake at 4.5.
For people to pay to watch him beat
10 months.
It was skill. Can we just talk about the positives here for a moment? Right, if you bring your child to any Thai boxing school in the UK that's recognised and runs it properly.
Well, I wouldn't, but there you go.
Well, you would do, because once you saw it and you actually witnessed what was going on in these schools, you would be so impressed with the level of attention. These children improve at school. We've got reports from, they bring the actual reports in. And sat at the back, as Jeff just rightly pointed out prior to the programme, I didn't realise this, I've got more ladies bringing the children than we have actually men. So you think it'd be a men's sport, boxing.
Sandy,
no, the skill level
just
is...
Just clarify this issue of the cage. Does it exist?
There is a cage, and it's usually associated with mixed martial arts, which is the ultimate fighting, which you probably heard about, where they carry on fighting on the floor after they've done the striking. This is usually done at an adult level, but they've actually been bringing these cages into venues now to show the odd Thai boxing fight. Now, the thought of cage, first thing I sum up, even myself, and this is a Thai boxer of 30 years, I see a lion, I see a tiger, and I see an animal in a cage. That's what people think of as a cage. This cage is actually very safe, as is a boxing ring. It's a padded floor. A boxing ring is a padded floor. Ropes to keep you in a safe environment with a referee, with medics in attendance. A cage is even safer than a ring, really, because you can't fall out of it. If you fall out of a ring, you would get hurt. If you fall in a ring, you won't get hurt. You've got padding on the floor. You talk about trauma to the head. A child walking down the street, your child trips up, as children often do, would fall on concrete. You do not have a safety floor in the street.
When my child is walking down the street, the aim is to go to wherever we're going.
And they will fall, and they will bang heads, and there will be
Sandy, let me just interrupt you. Just want to move it on slightly, because obviously we're against time here. But talk about the positives then. How do you get out of the ring, translate that to the playground, and make it a positive experience? Because that's what people are worried about, that you're creating bullies.
As I said, as Jeff just said, 4.5-year-old little Jake, he's smaller than the rest. I'm small. I was bullied at school for 3.5 years. Martial arts has turned my life around. You know, I do believe I'm a role model. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't swear, I've never done drugs. And you lead by example.
Yeah, but Paul, a kid that doesn't really want to compete but is doing it because their parents are excited, because they've got to go in the ring and win, you know, there's pressure on that kid to go in there and do well.
There's no pressure. The parents aren't seeing it through the eyes of the children. This is absolutely not. This can happen on extreme levels, we might have seen on the programme on Channel 4. That shows 1/1,000,000% of what it is.
We have got to go. I'm going to have to leave it there. I know this one is going to run and run. Thank you for joining us. Extra is back in a couple of weeks' time. Do join us.